إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا فإنه من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ولي الصالحين وأشهد أن سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. أما بعد قال الله تعالى في القرآن المجيد: يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلال وكل ضلالة في النار أآذني الله منها وإياكم. أما بعد, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. قال الله تعالى: وما تفعلوا من خير فإن الله به عليم. My brothers and sisters, inshallah, in my khutbah today, I would like to talk. The topic in Arabic says كثرة طرق الخير, many ways of doing good deeds. As we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He gives us this opportunity so that we can take advantage of it. So when we meet with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He will be so pleased with us. So in hadith, one of the ways that we can acquire the good and the khair is قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. The hadith was narrated by Abi Dharr al-Jundub ibn Junada radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. He says, أَيُّ الْأَعْمَالُ أَفْضَلُ, what is the best, the most action for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, Al-Iman billah. First you have to believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as one. And the next is wal-jihad fi sabilillah, and to struggle in the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the best jihad is to control ourselves, not to commit the crime that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not pleased with it. And the Sahaba asked another question, says, Ayu riqab al-afdal. Riqab means when somebody is in captivity, somebody is held as a hostage by an enemy, especially as a Muslim. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam say, the Sahaba say, which one is the best if I make a free and I can get more reward? أنفسها عند أهلها وأكثرها ثمنا. The one that the most expensive to their people and the most beloved to their relatives. That's the one that you pay more. That's the one Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to give you the great ajr. Not only that, even if somebody making something, you go and help them, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to give you the reward. The most important action in Islam is a charity. This charity, even Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala contributed in Islam. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, when you look into our religion, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He didn't make us difficult. يريد الله بكم اليسر ولا يريد بكم العسر. Allah wants you to be easy. He doesn't want to make for you everything complicated. When the ayah was revealed about the salah, the shortening of the salah, and also breaking the fast in the month of Ramadan when the person is sick, the Sahaba to say to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, we can afford that, Rasulullah. Even when we are traveling, we can still do fasting in Ramadan. We can still pray our 4 rak'ahs. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, Sadaqatun tasaddaqaha Allah bikum. It is a charity, even Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself give it to you. So you accept it. That's how important is the charity. And there are so many ways that we can give a charity. And I will inshallah ta'ala share with you a story about a scholar from Morocco. And we know that the entering the Jannah, it did not end at the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. People still continue worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, doing good deeds, and they will still be able to go to the Jannah. This is a recent story that happened between Saudi Arabia and Morocco. There is a scholar who is very educated, is religious, devoted to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One night in his dream he saw and he was given a news that a man in Saudi Arabia going to the Jannah. But the man in Saudi Arabia doesn't know if he's going to the Jannah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told this scholar in the dream, go tell him that he's among one of the people who are going to the Jannah. And the scholar traveled to Saudi Arabia and the man lived next to the Masjid al-Haram. And he asked, the people among there, I'm looking for so and so, do you know where he lives and his residence? The people who know them, and they pointed him and he went there. And he met with the man, and the man looked like trouble. He doesn't have good clothes. He's struggling in his life. And he wants to investigate, find out, and he has his name because he was born in a dream. And he says, I have seen in a dream and I was told to come to you and tell you that you are going to the Jannah. Just tell me something that you are doing that makes you that go to or enter the Jannah. And we think that only when we pray, we read Quran, we go to the Hajj, and we do Umrah. That's the only action that will guarantee us to the Jannah. And this man says, I'm not doing any major action or good deeds for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The only thing I did is there was a man who was my neighbor. He passed away and he left children and a widow. And there's nobody to take care of that family. Then I decided myself that this man, that's the one the one in Saudi Arabia. He's not been praying like the people who connected to the masjid. Most of his time he's working making money and helping people, something like that. He says, the only thing I'm doing is whenever I make some money, I divide and I earn some for myself and I give some to this family who is my neighbor. This is the only thing that I know that I did in this world. Maybe this is one of the reasons Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving me guarantee to go to the Jannah. And we know that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam's time, they actually faced difficulties more than we do now. There was a drought, there was no rain, there was no food, and people struggling and hungry. There are some hungry people come to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam asking food and help, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not have anything. And his brother Bilal, he asked, do you have anything to help this family? And Bilal radiallahu ta'ala said, we have nothing. Everything we had, we already gave it away to the needy people. Now what can we do? They went to Medina market. They took a loan, and they give this loan to the needy people, to poor people. That's how important it is in Islam that we have been encouraged to help the people, especially the needy people. Because whatever we have, it is not only for us, it is also the share for the other people who live among us, or who live with us in this world. Because when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes somebody's fortune, getting all these, opportunities to gain money or supportive towards education, whatever, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants that person to also give whatever he earns to the people who are next to him, and to people who live, in the city or in the society where, they neighbor to each other. So one of the most important of the charity is Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, as-sadaqatu tudfi'u ghadab ar-rabb, that every one of us, in a small degree, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala may be angry at us for some reason. Maybe we have done something wrong that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not happy with us. But Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, if you wanna, extinguish the anger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you pay charity. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be so happy with you. He will be so proud with you. And this is how Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam showed us the way. that when we live in this world, we live for ourselves and we also live for other people. That's the means of Islam. Not only to the Muslims, even the non-Muslims. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, "Fi kulli kabdin ratbin ajr." Every wet liver that lives in this world is ajr, whether they are Muslim or non-Muslim or the animals, whomever that you give a charity, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to give you back in the day of judgment. And one of the most miracles in the sadaqah is Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says that he said that treat or heal your sickness with sadaqah. And there were many people who actually have seen this miracle, who've been suffering so many illness and struggling in the world, not knowing what to do and where to start. When they start giving charity and sadaqah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cured from that sadaqah. And the other thing that's very important in the many ways of worship of doing good thing or khair is Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, "Uridtu a'mal ummati ahsanuha wa sayyi'ah." And I was showing the best of my ummah's action and the worst of it. And فَوَجَدْتُ مَحَاسِنَ أَعْمَالِهَا الْأَذَى يُمَاطُ عَنِ الطَّرِيقِ. The best action is when you try to move something that blocking the people's way on the street. There's a thorn, maybe there's something that's sharp that can harm people. That's one of the most and the best action that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves, because you are protecting people from getting harm of these objects. And فَوَجَدْتُ الْمَسَايَا عَمَالِيَا الْمُقَاطِمِ تَكُونُ فِي الْمَسْجِدِ. And at the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, they didn't have like this nice carpet that we have. They used to sit on the sand soil, and some people they actually used to sit in the masjid because they didn't appreciate that the place was of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, this is the smallest thing. If you see something on the masjid, you remove it, you take it. Small garbage, don't undermine it, don't unfaith Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He actually rewards with the small things than the bigger thing. Because the small thing, the person who gives a small thing, he thinks he didn't do anything. He feels humble. But with the bigger thing, we already be proud. I'm already thinking, I have done a lot, this is Allah has to give me something like, in return. But when the thing is very small, that's when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so appreciates. And the other thing is when we do good, Allah himself is thanking to us. He's saying thank you for doing this. Rabbul Alameen, the creator of all world, saying to see, thank you. I really appreciate what you're doing. This is Allah who is actually appreciating when we do good things for the people. With that, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam say in the hadith, لا تحقرن من المعروف شيئا ولو أن تلقى أخاك بوجه طليق. Do not undermine by doing good things, even if it is just to smile at the face of your brother, your Muslim brother, as your fellow human being. Even this Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made a charity for us. Because it is making that you not be, putting yourself in the need of people. You're putting yourself in the need of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because the people themselves cannot help you if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not reading for you something that, that you indulge in this world. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, لَقَدْ رَأَيْتُ رَجُلٌ يَتَقَلَّبُ فِي الْجَنَّةِ. I have seen a man, falling in the Jannah, excited and happy. Because Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, with his honor and dignity, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala values him, he used to be able to see sometimes when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to show him, in the Jannah, and we know that in the Isra wal Mi'raj, when he went to the heaven, you have seen the Jannah and the hellfire. The same thing that, in today's world we see, TV, we watch, we see this, develop. But at the time Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he was able to see in his time, which is we consider that the time when the thing is not developed. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, I have seen a man in the Jannah because في شجرة قطعها من الطريق كانت للمسلمين. There was a branch of tree that was blocking the way, and the man came by and he cut that branch